Davidson, and welcome to the Parkour Business Owners Podcast. On today's episode, I wanted to talk about Parkour Gym pricing, specifically with your memberships. I know that I made a huge error with pricing my Parkour Gym back in 2014 when we first opened. And frankly, I had no strategy other than just look around the block and see, what is that parkour, or there was another parkour gym, so what is that gymnastics gym charging for their membership? What's that martial arts gym charging for their membership? And, ultimately I just copied them and underpriced them by, $5 here. And the result of that was I was at the same price point as everyone else in town. So I thought I had a competitive pricing. I thought, I have the only parkour gym in town. So now that I'm the same price, everyone's going to find me and it's just going to magically work. Pretty quickly after that, 3 years later, the gymnastics gym that we based our pricing on closed, shut its doors forever. And at that point, our parkour gym was living paycheck to paycheck. We were going hand to mouth, break even or losing money every month. And fixing our pricing structure was a absolute necessity. There were a few things, frankly, we had to tweak about the whole business at large at that time. But fixing the pricing was a huge fundamental, just have to do it or you're forever just stuck. And so after seeking advice of a mentor and doing more research on how do other businesses actually set their prices instead of just guess and take shots in the dark, we landed on a couple good ways to do it. And so in this episode, I want to bring you through a couple strategies that you could use in your parkour gym to evaluate your current pricing, or maybe you are about to set your pricing for the first time. And if you already have a gym, you might discover that you are underpricing, or you need to make an adjustment. And if you are already, you're before opening up your gym, you having this in your ear will set you up for success way better than I was when I first opened my gym. So the first thing I want to say on that topic is don't base your pricing on anyone else. Your pricing should be based on your fixed costs, and that's like your rent, your insurance, your utilities, or the software that you're just definitely going to be using every month, like your gym customer relationship manager software. Those fixed costs that aren't variable, they're not fluctuating. You just have those costs every month, and you have the nut you need to crack as far as how much money you have to generate, or else you're not profitable. So if you base it off your fixed costs, this is kind of strategy number one right here. And if we say we want maybe 50 members to cover the fixed costs, and that's a pretty good, flag in the ground, 50 members covering all of our fixed costs. For the average micro gym, so not just parkour gyms, but this is also like CrossFit gyms, general fitness gyms. The average micro gyms fixed cost average is $11,000. And the average parkour gym is maybe slightly less than that. But let's just peg it right there, since that's the industry standard right there is $11,000. So if we want $11,000 of fixed cost to be divided amongst 50 different members, let's see, we got 11,000 divided by 50. That means your average revenue per member would be at least $222. One thing about average revenue per member is it's not only the base membership price. Oftentimes members will come in and also purchase a t-shirt, or they'll get a birthday party, or those extra little bits in addition to their membership. So if we say, I don't know, maybe the average member spends an extra 15% above their membership, that brings our membership price down to $176. And that's your baseline membership price if you're trying to cover your fixed expenses, which is $11,000 with only 50 members. And at 50 members, oftentimes gym owners can service those classes, can teach those classes themselves or with one person on board. 50 is not that hard. So that's why we're not taking into account payroll quite yet. You definitely do need to hire extra team members if you grow up towards and past 100 members, especially up towards 150 members, which is a great goal for micro gyms to set as their, once we have 150 members, this location can be considered successful. So with just 50 members, If you can cover your fixed expenses with that, you're in a great spot to start building some profitability, building up some extra cash flow so that you can hire a team later on. And so if our base membership price is $160 based on that, and of course, like I said, this fluctuates if your fixed costs fluctuate. If your fixed costs are not 11,000, if they are lower, then you have some wiggle room. Though I do actually really like $175, $176 around that ballpark for a membership, even if your fixed costs are lower. Okay, so that's one way you can set your membership pricing. Now, let's say your gym is already past that. You already have a number of employees. You definitely have payroll. And at some point in a lot of parkour gyms, your payroll becomes your biggest expense. I know that it's about double the rent of my cost across my couple of parkour gyms that I have. And so when you're in that territory, it helps to consider a couple other things. There's this one concept called the target allocation percentage, the TAP. And the target allocation percentage is when you take your revenue and you try and make certain components of your expenses, like your payroll, only be up to a certain percent of your revenue. So at my gym, we try to keep our payroll always below 45% of our revenue. We try to keep our rent below 15% of our revenue. Let's take the rent example. If your gym has $5,000 in rent, and you want to see, okay, $5,000 is 15% of what number? And that number will be the revenue target that you're going for. If we take our $5,000 rent and we are asking ourselves, $5,000 is 15% of what number? We can multiply it by 6.6. That's just the fastest way to get pretty close to that answer. And that gives us $33,000. And so in this example, we're past the 50 members. Let's say we are at that 150 healthy member mark. Now we're going to divide our 33,000 by 150 members, and that gives us, again, 220. And then if we take the base membership price of that average revenue per member, we subtract out that extra 15% that people like to spend every month on top of their membership. That once again brings us to the 176 price point. So if you have multiple ways to calculate what your membership expense could be, the price of your membership, if you have multiple ways to validate that, it just helps you zero in on a logical price range that you are way more confident in that actually works for your business. So if we move on from that and we realize, okay, maybe you're charging $80, maybe you're charging $100, and you calculated, oh, we actually need to be charging 120, or I like that 175 benchmark. What do we do now? We already have these members. Are we just going to grandfather them in forever and only charge the new people? What do you do is the question here. And it all comes down to how you communicate to your members. At the end of the day, you need to get everyone paying the proper price. Grandfathering in a huge chunk of your members, it's a mistake. In my opinion, and what I've seen other gyms do, it really limits your ability to service your audience because you're just not making the money required to actually run those classes, to actually make a profit, and to then actually service them better. So you're going to start with a price increase letter, and that letter is going to thoroughly explain what's happening right up front. The first thing is going to say, hey, we're increasing our membership price from current rate to new rate. It's right off the bat, clear as day, says it right there. The next section, you're going to flow into what is the benefit to the members for this price increase. So what do they actually get, and why are you trying to actually make them excited about this price increase coming? And so if you can say, in relation to this price increase, we are actually providing further coaches training so that our coaches are going to just work with you and your family better than ever. We're going to improve our facility. We're going to build X, Y, and whatever, and we're going to add new obstacles. You don't need to fully make a huge paragraph about every little thing, but you create for them that you're improving the facility, or whatever other components you can think of to create that there is benefit immediately for the clients. And then the next part of the price increase letter is going to be acknowledging that for some families, this might be difficult, a price increase. And this is where you really get to let your commitment to the community shine through. You could say something like, if this price increase is a financial burden on your family, we are committed to providing parkour to as many people as we can in our community. So reach out to us and we're prepared to offer you any families who want to keep your current rate. You can prepay for up to or for between 6 and 18 months or 6 and 24 months. If you prepay that in advance, you get that current rate through the duration of that you paid. And then after, you automatically go up to the new rate. And so this way, you give them some way that they can keep their current membership. They feel seen and heard, and now they have options. You could also say, and this could be part of your initiative as a gym, that potentially 10% of all your members are allowed to be on a scholarship program, and you link to your scholarship program. Or you point to that you have free sources on YouTube, free videos on YouTube, or low cost open gym or something. This is where you throw the people who need it a bone, and they get that your gym is thinking about them. I really like offering a prepaid membership option to lock in their rate temporarily, because as the business owner, you get a bunch of cash up front, and you could use that cash to immediately fulfill on your promise to improve your gym services or improve the product of your gym. So build things or hire someone to come in and train your coaches, or hire new customer service front desk staff to improve the customer experience. Or you can take that money, that upfront cash that you generate from those members who prepay, and you plug it into your marketing efforts, whether that's Facebook or Google ads, or you pay yourself or someone else time to make videos or content, or anything, whatever it is. You go out and you try and get new members into your gym on the current updated price point, and you first replace anyone that you lost, you replace anyone who prepaid, and then you just start growing your gym on this new price point far past wherever you were previously. And so that's the strategy there. And then as far as actually telling your people this, once you have your letter, it feels good for you, set this to begin 30, 45 days out into the future. You want to make sure you're giving your people plenty of time to notice this, to grapple with it, so that they don't think that you as the business owner are just springing this on them last second to kind of sneak it in there. You want to be transparent, forthcoming, and honest with this. And that is how you actually occur as genuine, and which hopefully you are, in trying to help the community. And that you need to be making a profit if you actually want the resources to turn around and service your community better, hire coaches, pay people what they're worth. You got to do all that. And so if you telegraph this out in advance, the community has the time to understand that. And then, so you're emailing this out, I would say, once a week to your membership audience. And then you post an actual paper physical flyer with the price increase letter in the gym. Now, you don't need to put it on display. It doesn't have to take like the biggest poster slot in your gym, but it should be there. It should be noticeable and easily read. And then when you inevitably have those couple of people who the price increase is set for today's day one, and you have those parents who show up and they're like, oh, I didn't hear about this at all. That will happen despite your best efforts. There's always that one person or that couple of people who just didn't get the message. They don't check their email. They didn't take your call. And then it's for those people that you can say, okay, hey, look, Bob, the period in which you could have prepaid has passed, but seeing that you just saw this, I'm going to let you think about it for the next week. And if you do want to do one of these prepaid packages, that's cool. If you have to put your membership on pause, like we can, that's your opportunity to be flexible and show those people who may have been caught off guard that you are trying and that you do care. And so with proper upfront communication, with some proper description of the value that's coming forth as a result of the increase, and then you just tending to it well after it's actually launched, all of that will wrap it up into a really successful increase. And the result on the other side of that is just reoccurring membership revenue increased by whatever percentage, 10, 20, sometimes 50%, depending on the severity of the price increase you had to do. Um, and there's definitely some strategy on how much should you increase your prices. It depends on from where you're starting for, how urgent is the need. And that's something that Motion Mentors can help walk you through, as well as creating the actual price increase letter and strategy around that. We're definitely happy to help you. And we have a template for this letter already ready to go, ready to send you. All you need to do is get in contact with us, tell us, hey, we need to increase prices, send me that letter, and we'll jump in there with you, give you the template, and walk you through any additional strategies or formulas that we have to help you be successful. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. You just got to really make sure you're charging what you're worth, because if you're going out of business, how the heck are you actually going to be helping people in your community learn parkour and change their lives through getting access to parkour? And then on the other side of that, gaining from the creativity, the strength building, the confidence that your program gives them. If you're out of business, they can't have access to you. If you're struggling and starving and on a break even, their gym can never improve. Their coaches will never improve for them. But if you are positioned to grow and to expand, and you, the business owner, are being rewarded and not constantly burning out, you can actually focus on your community and build something better. Or you can make more locations, or you can expand, or you know what? You, as the business owner, you can just pay yourself a little bit too. You are allowed to be rewarded from this as well, because of all the good that you're doing out in the community. So whatever your motivation is there, making a profit, charging appropriately, charging what you are worth is not bad, but it's hard to grapple with if you're a new business owner. Okay, if you guys need help, please reach out. I'm Jimmy Davidson from Motion Mentors, and good luck out there.